Rafa, you okay?
Yep.
Thank you for taking the time.
A pleasure.
First big question, blue or white?
I will go for blue.
Perfect, that's it. So when did you get into chess?
When I was in the school, in the playground, so normally you play football, or you told me before, no, when it is raining, and you play. In this case, I have a friend that was very good, and then we were playing chess, and I was learning a little bit about the game. The people that were the champions at this time was Spassky and Fischer. Fischer was the American. I was very good, very creative, and Spassky was more methodical. And after was Karpov and Kasparov, so a long, long time ago. And as usual, you start playing a lot, and after you don't have time, you don't play, you lose everything, and then it's more difficult. When you start playing again, is when you realize how difficult is the game and how good is the game for the brain tactically. So I think there's a lot of similarities with football.
So did you like it straight away? You knew straight away chess was the game for you?
I love the game, but it's a question of time. I like another one that I had was Stratego. That was about army, and then similar. So you need to know the tactics, or you have to have a plan and then change the plan depending on the things that are going on. So it's interesting, very interesting.
Do you play regularly?
No, I don't play now. I play in the past, but now you don't have too much time. And in football, when you are traveling around, so you are watching videos, you play normally 2 games a week, so it's not easy. And also, if you play against someone that is beating you, you don't want to play anymore.
Well, we'll see how this one goes.
Okay.
So, what is it you like about it? Is it the tactical challenge against your opponent, or is it, seeing what advantage you can get in the individual game?
It's a little bit of everything. So you have to have an idea what you want to do, but because the game is so difficult, then you need to adapt to the opponent. So similar to football, no? You have a plan, a way that you want to do things, but depending on the other team. So, for example, we play against Manchester City. So you cannot say, we will have the possession, because you know that you cannot. Then you have to prepare your game plan depending on that. But if you play against another team and they say, I will play at home, and we have more quality, we have to have the control, then you have to play to prepare your game plan depending on that. Similar to chess, you have to prepare your ideas and then change depending on the movements of the other team.
Very good.
Okay.
So you played football yourself. Unfortunately, injuries along the way. Stepped into coaching. Did the fact that you played chess young make you realise early that the tactical part of coaching was where you wanted to go?
I think it's something that you don't realise, but it's there in your brain, no? When I was 13, I have a notebook that my father gave to me, and I was taking notes of all my games, the players that were scoring, giving a point to players, mark up to different players, and I was always marking myself really high. So from the beginning, I was controlling that. When I was 16, I was playing in the summer and coaching my teammates. In the university, I was a player and coach at the same time. I retired early, so I was always thinking about how to coach. I like it to teach, to coach, and then as soon as I retired, the first thing that I did was to apply for a position in the Real Madrid Academy.
Through all the tactical analysis and the way you play against your opponents, the hunger that you've shown throughout your career, I feel is something that set you apart. Do you feel that's a big part of what brings success to managers?
When I was married, then we have Claudia. I have the bottle at 1 o'clock in the morning. So with the bottle, at the same time preparing videos, because at this time you have to have 2 machines, recorder machines. So preparing the videos for the next game. So 1 o'clock, bottle. I think it was at 4 o'clock. I don't remember now. Bottle, videos. So I was always thinking about how to do that. When I was going with my wife for a travel, whatever, we went to Italy. Okay, come on, we go to Rome, and then we have to go and see training sessions of this team, and after we can go to this museum or something. One day I invited her to Ireland. Oh, okay, we can go to Ireland. It was Ireland against Wales, so to watch the game at the same time. So I was always thinking about that. I think one of my strengths could be that. So the desire, the passion, the commitment, and the belief that I could do well. And sometimes it's a mistake, because sometimes you have to analyze things from another point of view. But when you are young, you try to do things this way.
She's very understanding. So early in your coaching career, the big success that you had was leading Tenerife into La Liga, beating, I believe, Atleti into that third spot, who is your father's team, I understand. How did that go down in the family?
Yeah, it was okay. My mother was a Real Madrid fan, my father was an Atlético Madrid fan, but not too much. My mother was more Real Madrid fan than my father, but they were happy. So it was a very difficult league because you have Sevilla, you have Betis, you have Atlético. It was very complicated, but we did well. The last game, obviously you don't know, but the last game we played in Leganés and Atlético Madrid was playing in Getafe, that is 10 kilometers away. And our stadium was full of Atlético Madrid fans, full of them, and it was really difficult. We beat them 1-0 and we were promoted, not champions, but it was a very, very difficult season against 3 top sides in Spain.
But you won that.
That's good.
Is that right?
I was just joking.
So you won that promotion, got into La Liga. Great progression for you. But at this time, were you ever keeping your eye on English football? Did you follow English football through your growing up period, or through the 80s and 90s?
Yeah, more or less. Not too much, because at this time it was not easy, and when you are busy with your teams, then you have to concentrate on that. I was following Italian football. My idol was Arrigo Sacchi, so I went to Italy a lot of times to watch them. But in England, you are watching the games and you are analyzing the tactics. England, you can confirm that it was not about tactics at this time.
No.
So it's about intensity and physicality and passion and commitment. Italy was more about tactics, and then I liked to do that. But still, I came to England to watch Manchester United training for 1 week. So, and I like it to be open-minded and learn things about any football, but English football obviously was one of the most interesting. But at this time, Spain was more, I would say, closer than to Italy. I was more tactical.
But you saw the progression of the English Premier League and the opportunity you came over. Did you see that you could bring your style to the Premier League, or you felt that at that time the Premier League had moved on to the point where these tactical battles would suit you?
No, it's fine. In Spain, in Spain we have the time that I remember Howard Kendall, Athletic de Bilbao, so John Tosha, when he came, so you could see that they were good English managers, and you could learn from them. Analyzing the games was less tactical, and then when you know what you can do, okay, maybe I can do this or that. So then you have to adapt your way to press and to do things, because football is totally different here. So little by little you are learning that, and then you are choosing players that they have the characteristic to be good in England, and you are learning that it's not about tactics. Everything is also about commitment and passion.
So you came over and you feel you adjusted your style to suit the league as much as anything else?
Yeah, no, for sure. You are learning every week. You are learning, and then with the pass of the time, when you are 1 or 2 years, you know more or less players. You know, because I used to follow players, but it's not the same when you go to another country. So you need to know set pieces. You need to know how they attack, how they dribble. So the style of football of every manager, how they will react against you. So I think that tactics at the end is not just what you prepare for the game, it's how you know your opponent and how can you get something that maybe can damage them.
But do you feel you have a style of play yourself, ultimately, if you strip it all back? You have a way you want to play, or does that change looking at the squad you've got available when you go into a new job?
I think you need to have some balance. If you have a lot of money, you can buy the players that you want and you play the style that you want to play. If you don't have money, you have to adapt to your players and you have to coach them properly and improve them. Then always I think it's something in between. So you try to do things your way, but at the same time you have to maximize the characteristics, the qualities of your players. If not, it's impossible. So you have to be sure that they understand what you want to do and then try to go there. When you cannot, it means that you need time, or you have to coach them in another way. That is something that you learn when you train in, or you coach in Italy, you coach in Spain, and you go to England or even China. This is a challenge. You need to understand the mentality of the players, the culture of the country, the city, the club, and then little by little try to adapt to them, but at the same time if they come for you, normally it's because you are successful. So what they want is to bring your success to the club. So you have to keep your way to do things, but at the same time you need to understand what is going on and what the fans are looking for, what the players what they like, and try to find this balance. Balance for me is a key word when you play and when you do things in life in general. I think you have to change also your approach. No, then for example, when you are getting older, and I would say when you are having more experience, so you need to understand that you have to, or you must have someone in your staff that is younger, with a new mentality, the way that they do things. And I will tell you the example of my daughter. When you send a message, I don't know if you have a family, but you send a message and my daughter is replying the message when I am nearly finishing the message. So they are so quick answering that it's impossible to
They
understand.
answer with letters
Yeah,
as well.
But the impossible is you are finishing it, you have the reply already. And I go with one finger, bing, bing, bing. So these kind of things you need to know as a coach, that in your staff you have to have people that they understand the new way. I have my software, so I'm quite updated, but still in a lot of things. It's important when you talk with players. What about football? If I talk about Pelé, maybe they haven't seen Pelé or even Maradona. So then you have to talk about players that they know now, and then you can have this relationship with them. So you need to adapt a little bit, and at the moment I think we are fine.
Do you enjoy keeping up to date with the youngsters?
Yeah. No. Today I have a conversation with Demarai Gray, and it was fine. We were talking about what he can do to improve a little bit, and then so when the players they want to improve, for me it's fantastic, because I like to coach them and to pass my experience to them. So I made a lot of mistakes when I was a player. You can see now, okay, I could do this, I could do that. Then you can give this advice to them, and then it's just now to be sure that we can improve things in the way that we want to improve things, because normally, so you have the experience as a player, no? When you finish in a position, and 2 or 3 years you finish around this position. If you want to improve, you have to change something. And I think we are in this process that changing little things, and I think that we can be better and better.
You feel you had to start the season well, and you did. Was that important?
Yeah, I think it's always important to start well, because it gives you more confidence. If you start well, you never know what can happen later on, because the confidence is growing and the team is playing better and better, and then you never know where you can finish. But I think because the social media is more about that than the fans. I think the fans was great. The first game was really, really good. So the fans were very supportive. So it's more the social media than we needed to do well. We did really well, and that is positive, but at the same time, maybe negative in the way that everybody was expecting that we could be at the same level all the time. So everybody knows that we have some important injuries, and then we have to manage that. That is one thing that we are trying to improve, but okay, we take some time, but we think that we are doing well, and we have confidence. And I was talking with my staff before this interview or this game. I was talking with them about the second part of the league. So we have to do as well as we can now, and be sure that in the second part of the league we will do well, because we used to do well, and I think that the players little by little they understand much better what we are trying to do.
Well, you planned for that. You planned for the start. You planned for the second half of the season, the progression. How is that affected by the injuries that have affected the squad? It suffered some injuries to some key players.
Yeah, I think it's I will take this one. No, it's a nice one. It's an injury player. So I think for any team to lose important players is a big problem. But for us, when you have 2 or 3 that they are the main ones, and then you lose them, especially for example, I would say Doucouré that was doing so well, and you lose Doucouré. Richarlison, you know that he's good, and Dominic. So then you are losing goals, you are losing confidence, because the rest of the team, they are expecting who will make the difference. And we were lucky enough with Townsend and Gray coming, and then I think we were doing really well, but missing these players is something that not too many teams can manage. No? And so I think that we will be much better in the second part of the league.
So how do you see this Everton team developing this season and hopefully in the coming years?
I think the team is okay, and we will be improving. We will be improving mentally, and this may be the main thing. So we have to show more consistency. We have to show more character in some games. So when you concede a few goals in 12 minutes or something like that, means that still we have to improve these kind of things. Then I can see the team improving during the season. I am convinced about that. And I can see the team improving for the next seasons. Why? Because we have a better idea now from inside what we were missing or what we needed. And we are trying to fix these things little by little.
So how do you manage expectations? You know, you spoke before that the team had a really good start and everybody gets carried away. The team then suffers a few defeats and it comes right back down to earth. How do you keep that message consistent?
It's always balance. When I say no, the message has to be right. So you cannot lie and you cannot say too much because that is football. And in football, every week, everything can change. So we spend the money that we spend. We have the team that we have, the squad that we have, and we did really well because everything was right. As soon as you have injuries or you make mistakes as a manager, tactics or whatever, substitutions, so something can be wrong. It's just how you react to these things, the key. And then I think that we are finding this balance little by little and maybe bringing different kind of players to be sure that we can keep this consistency and this right mentality. I say so many times, I know the city, I know the fans, so we know exactly what we want. We are capable to do it right now. So it's not easy, and especially, for example, January is a difficult market because there are not too many good players available, and then there are too many teams that they need players. But okay, we will try to change things a little bit if it's possible, and I'm sure that in the future we'll have more chances to do it.
You spoke earlier about Howard Kendall being a manager you saw over in Spain, and Everton's got a great history. You bought into that really quickly. You said you understand the city as well. Was that something that was very easy to do?
Yeah, when you play the derby so many times, you know each other. I remember you playing, so it was fine.
Remember winning a couple of times as well.
No, but it's fine. So it was very competitive. Has to be like that.
Of course.
Then you know what the people are expecting in one side, the other side. And I'm telling you again, so I have friends, families that they are blues and reds. So then you understand this rivalry. You were asking me about my father when we promoted with Tenerife and Atletico Madrid couldn't promote. So Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, so we know what means that. Betis, Sevilla in Spain, here. Then you know the people, what they are expecting, and then you have to adapt quickly, and then you have to be sure that you give everything. And I think the fans appreciate that. And in the end, so I'm convinced that we will do well. The problem with football now is that it goes too quick. So you can see you lose 2 games and then you are already under pressure. For me, it's not an issue. Why? Because so many years under pressure, then you can manage. If you cannot manage, okay, we will see if we can find a solution. But if not, then you know that you are doing your best, that you are trying your best, and that is what you have to do.
So stepping across the city now, you mentioned experience has been huge. Do you think you could have done a move like this early when you were younger, or you think the experience has made it key to hopefully the success?
No, I think experience is crucial. So every year, I remember when I was after Osasuna, I was going to watch the training sessions in the academy of Real Madrid. Del Bosque was the coordinator, and he was telling me, you will get a job. I said, no, but you know there are too many players, too many ex-players coming, and too many coaches. No, you always will get a job because there are no coaches. Yeah, no, there are no coaches. Coaches with passion, coaches with understanding of the game, coaches that they have the experience. So you can see every year a lot of new managers coming, young managers, the future, blah, blah, blah. And I will tell you maybe 10% of them stay there. Why? Because it's very easy to talk about football from outside. It's very difficult to be there and make decisions, and the right decisions. And the difference between football and other activities is that everybody knows about football. So you go to the pub and everybody knows, oh, he's wrong, the substitution, that. They don't know, for example, if a player has a flu or something, or an injury, and then he's coming back from injury. They don't know. They say, oh, why you didn't play? Why the substitution? So everybody knows about football. And that is the reason why it's so difficult to stay there for a while, so many years. Then if you have passion, if you have new stuff coming, if you update yourself with reading, watching, talking with people in football, so you are learning every day, and then this experience allows you to use this knowledge for the next game or for the next future.
Coming back to chess, do you try and outwit each manager individually, or do you try and beat the team? I mean, there are so many different ways of...
No, I think I understand. I think it's a big mistake when the media, they talk about this manager against this manager. My first game with Extremadura was against Barcelona with Van Gaal as a manager. What do you expect? You cannot beat Barcelona with Extremadura, so it's impossible. We lost 1-0. Then it's not against the manager. You are playing against a team. Even the manager, we can be wrong all the time, and the players, they make us be right. So I have an experience here, but I will tell you in Spain. We were practicing free kicks, and then one of my players was a free kick, and I was saying, I can do this, that, one of the things that we were practicing, and then he put the ball in the top corner. It's fine, so you don't need to do anything. Then even the manager making mistakes, the players can save you, or the opposite. So it's not manager against manager, it's team against team, and it's the moment. You cannot compare the last season with this season or 3 seasons ago. It's impossible, because every season is different. So you have injuries, you have new players, you have the other teams are different, so you have new managers coming in the league, and then we try to compare that, and he spent 100 million this year and then 100 million this year, that's it. No, it's not like that. So if you are missing Dominique, if you are missing Richarlison, if you are missing Doucouré or Yerry Mina, you cannot compare for 3-4 months. You cannot compare with the last season, but it's the same for everyone. So we try to do that, and I think it's a mistake, because new managers coming, they will change their approach. So if you play against Manchester City with Guardiola, it will not be the same if it's another manager. So, and you cannot compare.
All the different aspects of management, which do you enjoy the most? You've got the interaction with the media, you've got the tactical, you've got the man management of the squad, the day-to-day training. Which is your most enjoyable
part? The worst
part?
things are the interviews face-to-face. No, the worst thing is, the best thing is for me, the tactics. I like the tactics, analyze, prepare the game. So with before it was on your own, but now with your analysis department, so what you are looking for. And then the way that I approach, I try to prepare a plan and have the plan B, even the plan C if it's necessary. So I know the other manager, how they play, what they try to do, and how they react when you do this or that. I try to understand that. But still, what I will say is, you can be the best in the world preparing the games, but one player can make the difference, and that's it.
So you've got your tactical analysis of an individual game, you've got your analysis of your squad. Where do you see the squad improving in the next 18 months?
Tactically, we will improve for sure, because we continue working on that. We have to, physically, I think we are getting better. So little by little, we will be stronger. And I say, normally in the second part of the league, we will be fine. We are okay now, we are fine. But because we saw intensity in the games that we play, we saw intensity. And to react after conceding goals, the way that we did it in so many games, means that the team is physically is fine, but will be better. I think the understanding of the game is the main thing that we have to improve. So when we are in possession or without the ball, what we have to do, how we have to do it, and that is more or less tactically is when I can see the team improving the most.
The team seem to have a clear style of play at the moment. We like to play on the counter-attack, we've got good pace, we've got good delivery from the wide areas. Is this something that will be consistent, or do you think this will evolve as you evolve the team?
We have to improve also in that. So against a lot of teams, you have to play counter-attack. What we have pace in the wide areas now. We have people with ability to play between the lines or even behind the defender. So we have to use that. But if we want to improve and we want to be consistent and we want to challenge for something more, we have to be sure that when we play at home, we can control the games in the way that we want to control with the ball also. And when you play away, some games you have to do the same, but some games you have to play counter-attack. But we need to be capable to manage depending on what we want to do and the way that we can be a threat for the other team.
You spoke about Goodison Park. How crucial is it to use the crowd and the atmosphere to help the team when they're playing at home?
I think it's massive for us to have the fans behind. So the first game was proof of that. So when you concede a goal and the team is giving everything, the fans are continue supporting, and that is the way that you can change games in 5 minutes. So in the last minutes of the games, so if the fans, they see the team trying and trying, they will push you and then it will be easier. So it's always the way, has to be the way from the beginning. And we did against Tottenham the other day. So after 3 defeats, the reaction of the players, the way that they were working and the commitment that they showed on the pitch from the beginning until the end is what the fans are expecting, and I think it was a very good example of what we can achieve all together.
So what's the short-term goal for this season?
To win the next game. I always say one game at a time. So it's very difficult to say we will finish this or that. So I said in one interview that eighth means nothing for me, and it's true. Still, I have the same feeling. I think that we can improve. We will have a difficult time now because this month. November, December is complicated with no players coming back yet, but I'm sure that we will be stronger. And I want to do better than last year without comparing the last year, better than last year, but without saying that I don't want to achieve even more. So it depends how are you doing. You can be more ambitious. So I think that we have to be consistent. We have to show that we have the right mentality, and then we can be ambitious. And especially in the final games of the season is when you have to show that you go for something. And something could be anything. Could be Europe or could be eighth, but at least to see that you can see the team competing and progressing every day.
So do you break the season down into spells of games and try and achieve things over that kind of...
No, really, no. I have confidence that we will do well at the end of the season, on the second part of the season, because the way that we coach the team and the staff that we have, so they are quite good on that. But I'm not thinking about these 3 games. No, it's the next game. So try to win the next game. Try to prepare the best thing possible for the next game. I would say that normally you see 1, 2, 3 games, but no, I am not obsessed with the 3rd game. So I know that the first game is the most important.
So ultimately, Everton manager, what would be the ultimate dream for you?
To win something. What I said in another interview a long time ago is to win something. But to win something, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's not to win one trophy, it's to win something more. So it's just to be competitive, to have the chance to compete for winning trophies. And then when you are there, when you are close, is when you can win some trophies in a row. When you are not too close, then it's just, if we go to Europe, I will be happy. Yeah, I could be happy, but if I go, or if we can play in Europe, then I will try to be even better, and then to go closer to the final, the semi-final. So that is the way that I used to do it, and after you have to adapt depending on the team that you have. But I don't want to stay in the middle of the table and then be happy with that. So clearly I will not be happy with that.
Well, I look forward to seeing that materialise.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I think
you.
it was a draw. I think it was a keenly fought draw.
Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers.